Hello, all. Welcome to Sivan's SAP SD training. In this session, I would like to explain you all about the interview questions whenever you face it. So we normally know that L1 and L2, preliminary round and managerial round, we are normally face it. Whether it is a virtual round or in-person round, the majority of the times we will be facing these kind of interview questions. So when you walk through this session, you people will understand how an interview question is asked and how you need to represent them in front of the interviewers. So that is what I'm going to explain in this session. Majority of the interview questions I have written over here. Most of the times you will be facing these interview questions. These questions I have captured it from our students, those who have attended their interviews and then shared their experiences. And based on that one, I have compiled all these questions and then prepared on it. So that in a single interview recording session, you people will be able to complete all these interview questions so that your confidence levels will be increased and then you can attend these interviews with confidence. So that is why I have made this recording for you all. Thanks for giving me this opportunity and thanks a lot for subscribing 7CCBSD training YouTube channel. Thank you. So let me get into the questions now. The question number 1. Two condition types PR00 and ZR00 with same access sequence in the same pricing procedure. Two pricing condition records maintained, one for 100 INR or USD or euros and another one for 200 INR USD or euro. Which one the system determines into the sales order? As per the standard SAP behavior, the system determines the first one with 100 INR only and it ignores the second one. The question number 2, is it possible to change the billing date in the billing document? Yes, we can do it. If the accounting documents are not yet generated, then only we can do it. Else, we cannot do it. Once it is accounting documents are generated, then you cannot modify the date in the system date, especially when you go to the billing document header level, before the accounting documents getting generated or before the billing document is released to the accounting, the system will allow us to modify the date, else it will not allow us to do so. The third question is like sales order created with 10% tax and tax rate changed to 15%. How the new tax rate is updated in the billing document? It is as usual that based on the copy controls VTFA, the pricing type field will be there. There we have multiple options available. A, copy unchanged, B, new pricing, C, manual plus new. So we can put it as B so that whenever the tax rates got modified, so then the same rate will be updated in the billing document. So we have to go to the line item level and then conditions, update pricing. So there we have to select the option new pricing B. Sales order created with 5 line items. Reason for rejection set for line item 10 and 20. And there is no rejection, no reason for rejection set for 30, 40 and 50 line items. What is the net document value? Here, the system considers the net document value for the line items 30, 40 and 50 and ignores the line items 10 and 20 as their net document value becomes 0. So whenever there are multiple line items maintained in the sales order and any one of them got rejected, the system will not consider the rejected line items net document value because in a standard SAP, their value becomes 0. So hence it will not calculate the net document value for those rejected line items. Question number 5. There are 5 open sales orders created with 2 materials. The first material information available in MD04, that is materials requirements list, and second material info which is not available. Why? Maybe the second line item is a third party sales item, hence that will be transferred to the vendor in terms of third party scenario. Hence it won't go to MD04. Yes, there are few other possibilities. The first one, whether the availability check indicator is active or not for this particular material, we need to check. If yes, then we have to check the strategy group in MRP3 view of the material master. whether it is a make to order or not. So if it is a make to stock, then automatically it will be transferred to MRP, that is materials requirement planning, which we can see in MD04. If it is a make to order, so then also it is available. It's a strategy group 20 make to order would ensure the sales order requirement appears in MD04. Based on that one, the system will populate those information to the MD04 materials requirement list. Question number 6. Sales order created with the credit block and saved it. We have saved it. What changes happens if we go to VA02 other than credit block? So we will normally see at header level, it is blocked for credit. Unless and until we release it from our end, we using VKM3 transaction in ECC or VKM1 or VKM4 transactions in S4HANA, the system will not allow you to proceed further to create the delivery document. So normally what happens, the outputs, whatever we have maintained in the sales order, will not be triggered unless and until you release the credit block. This point we need to explain. Is it possible to have two pricing procedures for two line items in the sales order? Absolutely not possible. Normally the pricing procedures determined based on the combination of sales area, document pricing procedure and customer pricing procedure. Here absolutely there is no line item level maintenance. Hence, in standard SAP, it is absolutely not possible to determine two different pricing procedures for two line items maintained in the sales order. Question number 8. Explain about MTO configuration steps. So what is MTO? First, we need to explain about it. MTO is nothing but make to order or sales order stock, where we modify the standard material or existing material as per the customer requirement. Hence, we do this process. In this process, we need to create a material with item category group as 0001, and then item category determination we need to perform. Based on that one, the system will automatically propose the item category as TAK into the in the sales order. The moment sales order is created, that will be reflected in the MD04 list, materials requirements. Once the production order is created based on the requirements, then the stock will be maintained using MB1C transaction or MyGo transaction in S4HANA. The MB1C transaction, which is not available in ECC system, so it is not available in S4HANA system. Hence, we use the transaction code MyGo in S4HANA. So these settings, once we complete it, then once the stock is reserved for that particular sales order specific, so we can see this in MMBE transaction code, the stock will be reserved for that particular sales order only. So the same sales order stock cannot be allocated to the other customer or other sales order. Please remember this point, and we need to explain like this. Explain about intercompany and third-party scenario. So sometimes these questions will be asked with the combination. We need to explain them accordingly. So intercompany sales. What is the intercompany sales? Whenever the sale happens, the selling organization belongs to different company code than the delivering company code. So what happens whenever the transaction happens between two company codes of the same company, so which is known as intercompany sales, where two invoices are created. One is customer invoice, another one is the intercompany invoice. For this, we need to maintain all the settings, like intercompany customer has to be created and then assigned to the sales organization, the delivering plan assignment, and then there are two pricing procedures to be maintained along with the intercompany pricing procedure. So based on those things, the system will allow us to create the customer invoice as well as the intercompany invoice. For both the invoices, the base is outbound delivery only. So this is what we need to explain about the intercompany sales. Then third-party sales. Third-party sales are nothing but vendor sends goods to the customer and bill to the business. Here, there is no delivery happens from the business because the stock will be delivered from the vendor side, not from the business side. Here, upon the goods that is invoice verification, is completed, that is Myro transaction, so the system will not allow us to create the customer invoice. In third party scenario, which is the SD and MM integration part, where the item category determined as TAS based on the item category group, which is maintained in the material master data, that is BANS. So here, these based on this item category and then schedule and category determination, that is CS, item category plus MRP type, the system in the backend which generates the purchase requisition, which can be found in the VA03 at sales order line item level, we will find the purchase requisition and we will have to use the same purchase requisition to create the purchase order and then followed by the invoice verification. Then only the system will allow us to create the customer invoice. So here we need to maintain the source list and then we used to maintain the purchase info record. We means the MM team will help us, or sometimes while testing it as an SD consultant, we also can perform the same activity. So this is how we need to explain. Then the question number 10, what is common distribution channel, or why we require the common distribution channels or common divisions? These are the frequently asked questions. The sharing the master data like customer master data, material master data, and pricing master across the distribution channels, which is known as common distribution channel, so that we no need to create with the distribution channel these kind of data, master data. So the same data will be maintained. So we have an option called common distribution channel and common divisions, where we have to maintain these field values. What is the relationship between plant and shipping point? Many to many. Many plants can have many shipping points, or many shipping points can be assigned to many plants. This is the relationship. Explain about pricing procedure determination, or what is pricing procedure. So this we need to explain about the pricing procedure determination, like sales area plus document pricing procedure and customer pricing procedure. Number one, what is pricing procedure? It is the combination of condition tables, access sequences, condition types, which are maintained. It is working based on the condition technique concept. We need to explain in such a way that, and we need to also incorporate that we need to define the condition tables. We need to place them from most specific to most generic in an access sequence once it is defined. And then access sequence is a search strategy by which the system will find the valid condition record for valid condition type. Whenever there are multiple condition tables are placed in an access sequence, and all the condition tables are set as an exclusive indicator, then whenever the system finds in the first instance itself the valid condition record for valid condition type, it determines the price into the sales order. If the exclusive indicator is not set, then the system will check for the valid condition record till the end of that particular condition table, and it takes the lot of time and then it affects the system's performance. Hence, we use the exclusive indicator. This access sequence normally will be associated with the line item conditions. Then question number 13, explain about storage location determination rules. Normally, we will maintain this storage location determination rule at delivery document header level. MARE, which is dynamic storage location determination rule, which is the combination of MALA plus RITA. MALA is nothing but shipping point, plant, and situation, and RITA is nothing but plant, situation, and storage conditions. In any one of them, if the value is found, then the system will be determined, the storage location will be determined into the delivery document. Explain about SD and MM integration and SD and FI integration. For this, we need to be sure about the places where and all we integrate with each other. For example, SD and MM integration, it starts from the plant where we assign, the plant is defined by the MM consultant, where we assign the shipping point. Number one. Number two, while creating the material master data, it is the integration of SD, MM, FICO, PPQM, and warehouse management, where and all we integrate with material master data. and also the shipping point determination with respect to the loading group, route determination with respect to the transportation group. And then whenever we do the PGI, post goods issue, while creating the outbound delivery, so that time the system will generate the material document which can be seen in MB03 and cost of goods sold account document, that is FI, SD and FI integration. The similar way SD and FI integration, we need to explain the moment we assign the sales organization to the company code, the entire sales related activities are populated onto the accounting. And then while creating the customer account group and then a number ranges, we will integrate with them. And then all financial related activities, like we will maintain the GL accounts, especially the reconciliation account while creating the customer master data, and then the tax determination, and then pricing procedure, where we maintain the account key for each and every condition type, pricing condition type. That is an integration part between SD and FI. And also when we do the revenue account determination from our end, where we integrate with the FI team. Like this, we need to explain. Moreover, we need to also explain about the, once the billing document is generated, then customer account is debited and then revenue account is credited once we receive the payment. Like that, all those accounting entries, if you remember them, try to explain during your interviews. Then how the availability check is determined. Question number 15. Based on the checking group and availability check indicator, this availability check is determined, and also the plant based on all those parameters in the backend, the system will allow us to determine the availability check process. Whether it is an individual requirement or collective requirements, whatever the option we select over there, based on that one, it will be determined in the material master data. We often face the interview question like, what is backorder processing? Question number 16. We use the transaction code V underscore RA. It is nothing but the product will be allocated based on the customer classifications. For example, there are A class customers and B class customers, and one demanding product has been already allocated to the B class customers, and all of a sudden we received an order from the A class customers. So then we need to do the justification. At least 50% of the product quantity has to be allocated to the A class customers from the B class customers, so that we can run this transaction code and then we can select those orders and then customer specific. Then we can allocate it. That is called back order processing. This is being widely used nowadays. Question number 17. In an access sequence, there are 5 tables and 5 condition records maintained for those condition tables. Now the business requirement is third condition record only has to pick up by the system. How? How can we achieve it? Normally, what we explain them that whether the exclusive indicator is active or not. So exclusive indicator is active. Then only the third condition table to be picked up by the system. Then there we need to write a requirement routine, or we have to assign the requirement routine to that particular third condition table maintained in an access sequence. Accordingly, whenever we create a sales order, so the system will pick up only that particular condition record maintained for that. So this is how we need to explain. Question number 18. How an outbound delivery information will go to third-party logistics, 3PL systems. So for this, we need to explain that through the EDI output option or external send options of the output determination procedure. So when we maintain an output and output determination procedure for the outbound delivery, based on that one, the print output option or the medium. So there we have to select the option called EDI, and then once all the prerequisites are in place, then that particular output will be transformed to the third-party logistics. So this is how we need to explain. Question number 19. How the forwarding agent is populated into shipment document. So forwarding agent is nothing but a carrier who carries the goods from business to the customer through the truck or through the transportation mediums by road or by sea. It is the forwarding agent is sometimes will be determined at order level, in the sales order level itself, based on so many parameters like weight or volume based. We can determine the forwarding agent at sales order level, or else we can do it at delivery partner determination level. The way we do the partner determination procedure for the sales order, the similar way we can also perform the partner determination rule for the delivery document, so that from the outbound delivery, the same forwarding agent will be carried out to the shipment document, that is VT01 and transaction code. What are all the header conditions in the question number 20, and what is the functionality of group condition? So we all know that the header conditions will not have access sequences, and whatever the discount we wanted to grant at header level, we can use the multiple discount condition types like HA00, HB00, and HD00. These are all the header condition types which can be determined manually during the sales order processing, and they don't have the access sequence, hence we cannot maintain the condition record for the same. And the group condition is nothing but whenever it is activated at the condition type level for any condition type, especially for the header conditions, the system will consider based on the routine number maintained, whether the net document value to be considered or the group of materials value has to be considered. So this is what we need to answer them. What is an user exit and why it is needed? Or what is the significance or importance of an user exit? So user exits always, people will get confused while explaining them. Please do not confuse. User exits are nothing but standard programs to create a sales order, to create an outbound delivery, to create an invoice, and all the transaction based, each and every transaction code which is associated with one program. That is a standard SAP program where the requirement comes in that this is the requirement and this functionality to be added or included. So that is possible only using the standard user exits, where the G function modules will be associated, or G programs will be associated. There only the system will allow us to include the logic. For example, MV45AFZZ, MV50, that is sales order triggering program, MV50AFZZ, delivery document creation program, MV60AFZZ, billing document creation program. Again, within that, again, there will be the G programs. So we can see them, and then accordingly we can propose them where we can incorporate the logic to the technical teams there that are nothing but ABAP teams. Question number 22. The business requirement is to change the item category manually in the sales order. Is it possible? Yes. This is like whenever we go to the Vivo V4 transaction, that is item category determination, or T184 table, whenever we maintain the combination of sales document type, item category group, usage, high level item category, and the default item category. In the default item category option, we can maintain manually about around 10 plus item categories. If you would have maintained already other than TAN, the standard item category, TAB or TAK, TAC, TAP, TAE, then the user is allowed to maintain or change the item category, whatever is required while creating the sales order. If it is not maintained, only one is maintained, that is standard item category TAN, then the user cannot manually change it. The system will throw an error. Question number 23, what is customer account group? Customer account group is created in the transaction code OBD2, that is normally defined by the FICO teams. It is SD and FI integration. They are required to control the customer master data. Any field, whether that particular field is required or optional or display only or suppressed. For example, a reconciliation account in the company code data of the customer master data. If we wanted to keep it as mandatory, so that when we try to create a business partner or customer master data in ECC or S4HANA, the system will not allow you to proceed further unless and until you mention the reconciliation account field value. Like that, every screen we can control, general data screen we can control, company code data screen we can control, and also the sales area data screen also can be controlled using the customer account group, whether that particular field is mandatory or optional or depressed or suppressed and display one. So like that, we can control using the customer account group maintained or created by the FSCO teams. Question number 24. Explain about revenue account determination and their settings. So this is the SD and FI integration part. Revenue account is determined based on the parameters like application V, condition type, chart of accounts, sales organization, account assignment group of customer master data, account assignment group of material master data, and account key, along with that ZL account. So this can be maintained using the transaction code VKOLs. We can go to the path and then we can do it. The revenue account determination also based on condition technique concepts. We need to create the required or relevant condition tables, required revenue account condition types, required access sequences, and then revenue account determination procedure. So we need to maintain this revenue account determination procedure at billing document level. If it is not associated, then the system will not determine the revenue account. Please remember this point. And then we need to explain like in this way. Explain about IDocs, the structure of IDocs, how to reprocess the failed IDocs. IDocs are nothing but intermediate documents which are used to exchange the data between the systems like SAP to SAP or SAP to non-SAP. So at order level, orders, message type, delivery level, DELVRY, delivery or SHPMNT, shipment, message type, and then invoice level, INVOIC, message type we use. The structure of the IDocs are like control records, data records, and status records. The control record is nothing but the address details I can see. It will have an envelope that when it is created, how it is created, and then timestamp, all those details are associated at the control record level. The data records, EDIDS table, where entire information like header information of the sales order, item information of the sales order, if it is relevant for sales order level, the similar way delivery and billing. Those information will be associated at header level and item level. The segments are like even EDK01 at header level, even EDK P01, which is at item level, segments. And the status records, whether that particular IDoc is an inbound IDoc or outbound IDoc, whether it got successful or failed, all those statuses which the IDoc passes through. So those details are captured in the record called EDIDS table, that is status records. How can we process the failed IDocs? So using BD87 transaction code or WE19 transaction code, we can reprocess the failed IDocs. If we use BD87, any stuck IDoc, that will be generated with the same IDoc number. If any master data or data discrepancy is there, the system will allow us to create it. If it is WE19 transaction code, the system will generate a new IDoc. Already the failed IDoc can be moved to the 68 status. Then question number 26 regarding the batch jobs. How a batch job is set up? What is the maximum or least frequency we can set up? Attributes of a batch job, setting up of variants. So batch jobs are used the automation of the processes. In the backend, the system will generate the outputs, output condition records, or output triggering of outputs, or triggering of the or creation of the delivery document, creation of the PGI, creation of the delivery output types. So all these are associated in the batch job program. So we use the transaction code SM36 to set up a batch job, and then its frequency can be minimum 1 minute or less than 1 minute. Also based on the client's requirement, we can set up the frequency so that that particular batch job will run based on that frequency we set up. And attributes are like the whether it is an important financial side or sales side or side, what kind of things we need to maintain, like with respect to the sales organizations, if it is sales related or shipping point related based on sales office related, like that we need to maintain. And then we need to maintain the variants so that whenever you are having multiple such attributes like different sales organizations, different shipping points, or different plant specifics, or different sales office specific, so those things we can maintain them in the variant itself, so that the variants will be very useful while doing the testing in the lower environments like quality systems. So this is what we need to explain. And batch job monitoring can be seen using the transaction code SM37. The batch jobs can be set up using the transaction code SM36, and then we use the transaction code SM37 to monitor the batch jobs. What is the functionality of alternative condition base value? And with one example, it is nothing but in the pricing procedure, it is alternative to the standard condition type procedure, especially whenever we wanted to consider the gross weight and net weight. So in the pricing procedure, we don't have standard pricing condition type to calculate the gross weight or net weight. Hence, we use the routine number 12 or 13 that is associated with the KF00 condition type. So where if you maintain 12, then the system will calculate based on the gross weight. If you maintain 13, the system will calculate the value based on the net weight. So that is up to the business requirement. We can select the option. So this is the most important question we often face it. Question number 28, explain about the pricing procedure changes or pricing changes between ECC and S4HANA. So we need to explain first. In ECC, there is a table called KONV, which is now replaced with PRCD underscore elements in S4HANA. 16 columns were there in ECC, now 18 columns in S4HANA in the pricing procedure. The length of customer pricing procedure and document pricing procedure condition type counter has been increased from 1 digit to 2 digits in S4HANA. And earlier in ECC pricing, we can only keep 99 tables in an access sequence. Whereas in S4HANA now, the system will allow us to place 999 tables. This is the most important point which we need to highlight. Condition tables in ECC, it was allowing 1 to 999. Now, apart from 999 tables, additionally, we can include 484 tables with alphanumeric key. Condition type counter, which is there in the pricing procedure, has been increased from 2 digits to 3 digits. And then formulas routines have been increased from 2 to 3 digits. 2 to 3 digits in ECC, 3 to 7 digits in S4HANA. So sometimes they may ask you the question like, what are the major changes took place in ECC and S4HANA? We need to explain about right from the business partner concept, we need to explain. So customer, there is no XD01 transaction or contact person creation transaction that has been replaced with BP, business partner concept, number one. And number two, there are no VPUK and VPUP tables. Those field values have been allocated or assigned to the corresponding header and item tables of sales order, delivery, and billing. And then the pricing changes, followed by the material ledger activation and then material length activation increased from 18 to 40 characters in material master data in S4HANA system. We can use it. Then the shipping point can be determined based on the sales document header level. Document level, we can specify whether the shipping conditions has to be fetched from the sold to party or shipped to party. Like that, we can specify. And then BRF plus has been introduced in the place of output determination. And if the client wants to utilize the same traditional output determination, yes, he can use the NACE transaction and he can do it. Else he can go for the BRF plus, business rule framework, which is the combination of SD and technical team. They have to work together. And then fewer applications have been introduced. Settlement management has been introduced in the place of rebates agreement. And then the credit management has been replaced with FSCM, financial supply chain management. So like that, these many changes, whatever have been incorporated in S4HANA, those changes we need to explain if this question is asked. Question number 29. If you have worked on an implementation project, what are all the cutover activities you have involved in? So this is the most important and frequently asked interview question. So we need to explain right from the beginning whatever we have worked on, like especially the master data migration from quality to production system, number one, and then open orders, and then any G table values to be maintained in the production system. All those will come into the cutover activities. Sometimes the text SO10, the text also we need to maintain them. Some of the table entries that has to be maintained directly in the production system. Maybe standard or maybe some of the Z tables. So those values we need to maintain in the production system using SM30 transaction where they provide us access. Question number 30. What are all the gaps you found during the implementation and can you please explain about the one? Like whenever the standard SAP does not fit into to meet the requirements with using the standard transaction codes, then we need to specify or we need to explain about the enhancement. Here it comes in like enhancement, like for example, while creating the sales order, the system should automatically propose the pop-up message that there are item proposals are available or listing and exclusion is in place. So whatever the materials which are listed, that has to be placed by the customer. Other than that, it should not allow us. So based on that one, the automatic pop-up of the screens like that, this was the requirement which is not there in SAP, standard SAP. We have modified this user exit MV45 FJZ or wherever the standard program is there, sales order creation program. So there we have identified and then we have done it. Like that we need to explain. So these questions will arise during the L2 round or managerial round. Like explain about a critical ticket. Like you have to explain, keep it in our mind which one to be explained. So we might have worked so many tickets, but we may not be able to remember, especially during the interviews. So we need to remember, keep it in our mind, and then accordingly we need to explain the ticket and enhancement like that. What is rebates and how we handle the rebates in the system. So rebates are nothing but a special kind of a discount which we offer to the customers, the loyal customers based on their volume of purchase or value of purchase over a period of time. So we use the VBO1 transaction to create the rebate agreement type and the validity periods, everything. And then once they meet the requirements based on the volume or value of purchase, so that can be settled. So the rebate settlement. What is activate methodology in S4HANA? So it is having 6 phases, unlike ECC ASAP methodology. It is entirely different. So we have discover phase, number 1. Number 2, preparation phase. Number 3, exploration phase. Number 4, realization phase. Number 5, deploy phase. And number 6, run, that is go live. So you can explain each and every phase if they ask us to explain, or otherwise, if this is fine, then you can explain only these 3, only these 6 phases. And the activate methodology is always based on Agile plus Scrum. So with aggressive deadlines where the client will involve in every step of implementation. This is the point which we need to explain them about the activate methodology. Question number 35, they will ask you about, have you worked on ALMs? Yes, which are nothing but application lifecycle management tools which we maintain. So in this tool, we capture all the development quality and UAT test results, and then test scripts associated with them are captured and attached in every different folders. And then we will also maintain the defect management over there. Then only the release management or CAB team, that is change advisory board teams, will approve the changes whatever we have done in our change request or in an enhancement, whether it is a half yearly release or quarterly release or weekly release. So based on that one, they will approve them, and then only the system will allow us to move it to the production system from the quality system, whatever the changes are incorporated. So thank you all for S4HANA SD training and placement assistance. Please reach out to 812-332-787. Thank you all. Have a nice day.